Most people think tools are there to help them work. Dashboards, CRMs, ticketing systems, spreadsheets, project trackers, all of it, designed to make things easier, faster, more efficient. That's the idea. But if you've spent enough time inside any organization, you've probably felt something different. Sometimes the tool helps, but sometimes it slows everything down. Because tools are not just there to help you work, they are there to structure how work is seen, what gets captured, what gets measured, what gets reported, and more importantly, what doesn't. A dashboard doesn't show reality. It shows what the system decided is worth tracking. A CRM doesn't reflect the full story of a deal. It reflects what fits into its fields. A ticket doesn't capture the full complexity of a problem. It captures what can be written and processed, and that changes everything. If you want to understand tools, you need to see them in 3 layers. First, tools as enablers. They help you organize, track, automate, scale. They reduce chaos. Second, tools as constraints. They force you into formats, into fields, into predefined workflows. They simplify reality, but also limit it. And then the third layer, the one most people never fully see. Tools as signals, because what gets recorded becomes visible. What becomes visible gets attention, and what gets attention and gets decisions. So tools don't just support work, they shape what the organization believes is happening. This is why 2 teams can be working on the same problem and look completely different. One team looks on track, clean dashboards, green indicators, everything reported properly. Another team looks behind, messy tracking, incomplete updates, gaps in reporting. But in reality, the second team might actually be doing better work. They're just not optimizing for the tool, because tools don't measure effort, they measure what is entered into them, and over time, the people start adapting to that. Not to improve the work, but to improve how the work appears. This is where tools become something else entirely. They become interfaces of control. They define what needs to be approved, what needs to be updated, what is considered complete. They create visibility, but also pressure. Because once something is in the tool, it can be tracked, questioned, escalated, judged. So people learn what to enter, what to delay, what to simplify, and sometimes what to avoid entering altogether, not because they're hiding something, but because they understand. The tool doesn't just record reality, it creates consequences. Here's the shift. You're not just using tools, you are being interpreted through them. Your work, your progress, your performance, all of it, filtered through systems that simplify reality. And once you see that, you start asking different questions. Not just, did I do the work? But how is this going to show up? Because in most organizations, what shows up is what drives decisions. So next time you're working, don't just use the tool, observe it. What does it capture well? What does it miss completely? What gets visibility? And what stays invisible? And then ask yourself, if someone only saw my work through this system, what would they actually think is happening? Because the moment you understand that, you stop just doing the work and you start managing how the work is seen.